you so much for joining us. This is Woman 360. Even if it's becoming slightly normal, but I hope everyone is still observing the COVID-19 social distancing as well as other security issues that you need to keep safe when it comes to the issue of the coronavirus. On the show today, I'm very excited because it's a jam-packed show. I mean, we have your DIY interlude. We have tips for you every time when it comes to that. I hope you'll be able to get something from it. And then we also going to talk about issues of authoring. And this time, Natasha has released a book. We went to her book launch. It's called No Be From Here. Then we have Makeup 101. It's June. It's the middle of the year. But when it comes to the cold season, I know I'm even a culprit as well. Washing your face or even maybe trying to say, let me wash off my makeup as I go to bed could be quite tedious, but there are repercussions to that. And what type of makeup can you put in the cold season? Colors and how the hue is and all those. We'll be talking about that later on. And maybe during this COVID-19, you've locked yourself up and you have discovered something that you didn't know you could actually do. But I'm going to be talking to Sara. She discovered you can do carpentry a long time ago, and she's been a carpenter, and everyone lifts their eyebrows when they make a call and say, all right, so who's the person who's going to come? And she says, it's me. So these and many more issues on the program. Stay tuned. No Be From Here is a book that Natasha launched recently. Let's get to find out what we got from her as we went to her book launch.
But the title is No Be From Here, which in Nigerian pidgin means foreigner or someone from another land. And the story explores children of multicultural heritage who maybe in one country, that's your home, but in another country you think it's your home, but maybe you're not, you're still, you know, considered a foreigner or an outsider. So it explores that feeling of not belonging. And it shouldn't just, you know, be looked at as something as per country. Sometimes it's even just tribes. You can be, you know, half Luvale, half Chichewa, then maybe you struggle to speak Luvale when you go back, but you grew up in the Copper Belt. So that theme of searching for one's identity, who one is, that really is what the story is about. And therefore the title, No Be From Here. So personally as an author, I am Zambian, but I also have heritage from Nigeria and Jamaica. And that influenced the story because for me, I kind of needed to summarize or reconcile my own lifetime experience of being a child of multi-heritage. So it plays out in the sense that those are the cultures I've been exposed to. Even though my home is here, this is my home. And I just needed a way to create these fictional characters that could maybe show the world what it's like for people of mixed heritage. And then that's why we love Zambia, because here from the beginning it's always been a home for everyone. I mean, wow, we have some very strong female characters throughout history in all of these countries, women in particular. But at the same time, especially in Zambia, we also have a culture of embracing humility, values. So even in our boldness, as you'll see with one of the main characters in the story, you'll find boldness comes in different ways. It means different things. So to someone outwardly, they may think, oh, that woman is weak. But yet actually she's strong, she's full of these values that we're deeply rooted in. So yes, it kind of plays out in the story as well. Okay, so the story is fictional and it's set in different countries. I think in one review it was referred to as a story of many places and many identities. But at the end of the day, it's about home. And home in this particular book ends up being, or maybe I shouldn't give the spoiler. You know? Yeah, maybe let's let the reader explore it. But the identity issue plays out. The reader gets to taste different flavors, taste different countries. You get to travel and experience different families, yet it's one family. So yes, I think, and also it's a story about women. It's told from the point of view of two younger girls who are first cousins, and they're both half of something, but at the end of the day, they're cousins because of their Zambian side. And it also has its own thread that follows the story of their grandmother. So it's also an intergenerational story, and it tells the story of our own country in its own way. Without giving you a lesson, it just puts you in context, and before you know it, you're reliving a whole nother era in Zambia's history. Okay, so I will say that the first time I ever wrote anything, and I didn't know I would take it seriously, I didn't know I just would write because I felt I needed to write. And it was published by Zambian Women Association of Writers. Yes. So that's the first thing I want to say, that yes, we do have those systems, we do have bodies in place. I also belong to another writers group called Southern Writers Bureau. There are quite a few, but where they are, we do stay connected, we do keep in touch, we do support each other. However, I feel there's still a lot more room for us to grow. The area of fiction in particular needs to grow in our country, because I believe from a report, there was about 75 books published last year, if I'm not mistaken. But out of those, only about 21 were fictional. And fiction is necessary for any society.
Why is it necessary? What does it do to us?
It's really necessary because it tells the truth without necessarily, it doesn't always have to be an outright lesson. Sometimes it's just a story that someone can escape into, and yet when they do, they begin to look at the world differently. They begin to inspect themselves, and we begin to look at our own society. But most importantly, we get to preserve our stories. We get to preserve our own history. We get to preserve, events that have happened in our past. But not only that, it's also something that grows the minds of young people in terms of possibilities. You stop to just look at only the four walls. You now get to travel through books. You get to see things. You get to empathize with other cultures or people through reading. So I think it's very imperative that we continue to grow the fiction, in general, the literary sector. Okay. But fiction, yes, needs some more attention.
Most of the time when it comes to choosing a career as a female, either yourself will align yourself to something that is feminine, or society, or even the course that you go to in school would determine leaning more to the feminine side of things. But Sara went the opposite way. She is a carpenter and currently is pursuing road construction at the NCC. Let's find out what makes her lean more to what society deems as not so feminine. Sara, how are you? Thank you so much for appearing on 1360.
Thank you. It's a dream come true for me.
Thank you so much. A delight having you here as well.
Thank you.
But when carpentry, where did this all come from? How did it start?
Okay. Carpentry started when I was at school. I was at Libala High School from grade 10 to 12. That was 2008. So I used to take woodwork as an option. So the whole interest of carpentry started when I was practicing in the workshop, and I said, this is an option right at school, so let me try to turn it into a career. It wasn't easy. A lot of people say the female can never be a carpenter because, one, you need to have muscles, you need to have brains, and someone who's going to school from grade 1 to 12 can't be a carpenter because it seemed like it's a down man's job. So I decided to go that way to prove to people that you can be anything you want to be if you put your mind to it.
Okay, so how's your reaction when people call you and they want a carpentry job done? Okay. Maybe they won't even ask right there and then when you're on the phone with them, but when you appear in your work suit, I can see the pictures that are on our screens. I mean, it's a total opposite of what I'm seeing here. You're in a dress, you look like, a girly girl, but the pictures I'm seeing, you're total opposite in blue overalls and all that.
Oh, okay. So mostly the reactions I get when I go to get measurements, and they ask, who's the person that's coming to fit? And I say, it's me and my team. I say, who is the carpenter? Is it one of your team or is it you? So I tell them it's me. They look at me and say, we doubt. Until I work, that's when they believe. So a lot of clients when I was starting, they were doubting, but I had to prove to them that I am the carpenter and I can do the job that I say I can do.
How difficult or easy was it breaking into the market, especially convincing people that you would deliver what they need?
Okay, so I think my advantage to my other fellow carpenters was I studied their time frame. So if I say I can fit a kitchen, they can fit a kitchen in like a week. With me, I would do that in 3 days. So that was the biggest advantage that I had. And before, getting jobs was not easy because mostly this is a male-dominated field. And there are some people that say when they hear, Sara the carpenter, why are you saying the female carpenter? Just say carpenter. Well, this field is mostly dominated by males. So for a woman to stand up and say, I can do carpentry, it's not an easy thing. And I have proved to the world, I've proved to my fellow youths out there that even us females can be anything we want to be, for as long as we love what we are doing. If you love your job, it's not like a job, it's just like a chore.
So what are you fitting, or is it what do you create?
I do fit built-in kitchens and built-in wardrobes.
Okay.
Yes, and I have my own company, which is Finest Fit Kitchens and Wardrobes, and you can find it on Facebook.
All right.
Yes.
Now I'm thinking, I'm looking at your arms and I'm thinking all those things that have to go on. Doesn't it get hectic? Doesn't it get heavy?
The lifting, I think I've trained my guys, so mostly I'm under pressure with quotations and designs, but even the fitting, it's not heavy. You love your job.
Run me through the process of design, going to fit, and
Okay.
the whole process in a summary.
Okay, all right. So what I do is you give me a call. I come to your house, get measurements for a plain room, and I make a 3D design so that you're able to see the kitchen before it's made. If you need to edit, you edit. So after the design is done, we get a quotation for materials. We buy the materials, then we come and install from your house. So I have a team of 4 guys, my brothers, whom I trained from scratch. I decided to share my skill with my brothers. Then after my brothers, I would love to share my skill with many other youths out there. So what we do is fitting of built-in kitchens and built-in wardrobes. And I'm currently doing road construction. I would love to have a
Don't people get to
construction
tell you
company.
that, why do you always lean to the more male-dominated kind of careers as well as, you know, happenings and businesses?
I think for a female, you have more advantage. People will trust you more, and people will give you jobs. So there's money in construction. That's what I've discovered. So don't just sit home and say there are no jobs. Jobs are there. Construction is a way to go thing.
When you were talking about your brothers, I'm here thinking, I know you're married and you've got 3 kids.
Yes.
How is it balancing that? Well, not really balancing, because I mean, you're already managing, but the issue of having to tell hubby that I've got this job, there's no time for it, there's no 8 to 5 job for you, isn't it? Someone calls you on a Sunday, you have to do it. How is that? How's that going?
Okay, there's some clients that go as early as 04, some that go as late as 23, 24. I think I have a supportive partner. I'm very happy. God blessed me with a wonderful husband who understands my job. It's not easy to have a wife who always works with males or men every
That's
time.
true, yes, because mingling with his men.
No, he's been very supportive. We actually met at college. He's a mechanic by profession, and I'm a carpenter, so it's a house full of work suits. So me being a mother, I think I've put a line when I'm home. I put my phone on silent or switch it off so I can pay attention to my kids and my family.
Wow.
Yep.
It's a different, it's a very interesting aspect you've chosen to follow, and we'll definitely come through and spend a day with you sometime later on.
Yes.
I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you very much.
All right. I have been speaking to Sara Bweupe. She is a carpenter by profession, and very soon she's going to be a road contractor because she is currently studying a road construction course at the NCC here in Lusaka, Zambia. You're watching Woman 360. Thank you so much for still watching Woman 360. Get interactive with us by going to our social media platform. We are on Facebook. We are Woman 360 on that one. Like our page and give us your thoughts. Now, one of the things that women love, well, the majority of women love, is makeup. But makeup also comes with its own consequences, especially if you don't wash it off in the evening before you sleep, especially if you're doing very heavy makeup. But then again, the other thing that you should know and have a 101 on is the colors and what they say and what are that they're representing. Do you look right when you go for that job interview? Are you looking right when you go for that night out? And more especially in the cold season, are you going to go a little bit low with the colors or go brighter to brighten your day? Well, I'm not the expert, and I'm glad that I have Charity Chirambo in studio. She's coming from Cryoland, and she's going to be telling us more about this whole thing and let us know that if we have makeup on, we are not in danger. How are you? Thank you so much for coming through.
I'm fine, thanks. And how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So, for the love of makeup and not washing it off, repercussions, all those issues, what are we talking about?
We're talking about things like breakouts. Yeah.
Okay, but I know, you know, sometimes, especially when it's cold, all you want to do is go curl up in your bed and sleep. What those wipes? Do the wipes do as well as washing it off completely with water?
Those ones, we just use them just by the way thing. But the right thing to do to take care of your skin is to wash it off completely. And you also have to make use of the right products when taking off your your makeup, because you just don't want to go and just use just any soap or light soap and just think you have cleaned your face. And one way you can be able to notice if your skin is really clean after washing it off, try to use like a toner just after washing off. You use a cotton wool and try and clean your skin. You find that you still find some residue of the foundation or powder on your skin. So to make sure that your skin is really clean, you need to use the right cleansers, especially in the winter. Like you have already said, most people, it's cold, you feel lazy to go and touch water and start washing up. You just want to go in bed, but that's really creating a danger for your skin. And by the end of winter, you don't want to have all sorts of breakouts on your face.
Okay, so maybe overall, when you look at somebody maybe who's watching us and they're not into makeup, and they'll ask the question, it doesn't make a difference. Does makeup make a difference?
Yes, it does. It helps a lot, especially if you've got it enhances a person. It can go to extent of enhancing a person's personality or to raise a person's self-esteem.
I've seen people teasing on social media. How much is too much? They'll talk about, especially the guys, they'll put a picture and say, this is now just cheating when you put one without makeup and then the other with makeup. It's like a totally different person. How much is too much?
Yes, I can say yes, some people exaggerate, and most of the time the thing that makes it look more exaggerated is when you use wrong shades. Yeah, that's usually it creates a big problem, because when you apply, maybe you're light, you're dark, then you put on a very light foundation on your face, then you look like you have been embalmed or something. So the right thing to do is, first of all, when you go to buy your makeup, make sure you're tested and make sure you have the correct shades. Then when you apply, you also have to minimize on the quantity that you apply. You don't want to look artificial. You want to look natural. You don't want everyone, when they look at you, you should look like you have makeup on. But
like you can literally remove it like this, eh?
Like now, this is winter now. There's no need for you to go and use a heavy foundation. So in this winter time, we recommend you make use of more light foundations, the liquid foundations or the less creamy foundation. Or if you're going to use a dense foundation, then you can find something that can help you to lighten it up, so that when you apply, it's easier and it comes out more matte and natural on your skin.
Okay, talking about colors and shades, what being heavy, I know you've got our table looking all nice, and you know that those colors in the eyeshadow of the ladies that on the pictures of that. When it's winter, are we supposed to go more natural in the more earthy colors, or you can do blue like the lady at the far end?
I'm holding a palette with me here. Yeah. All sorts of colors and you can see from these colors are not bright colors. So if you're in the winter, you make use of more of the nude colors that won't make you look wow, because those are summer colors. So it doesn't make sense, and because when you're in winter, our outfits, it also goes with the outfits that you wear. You don't wear green, red, orange in winter. You just look off. So with the dark colors that we go with in the winter, also on the makeup, you also tone down a bit.
People always talk about this pop of color.
So if, for instance, you love red, you don't go for a very, very bright red. You go on the maroons and the burgundy, the softer colors. Those are the colors that go with the winter. When you go into summer, then you can pop out, and you know there's that refreshing feeling when you're now in summer. Yeah, that's why people get excited, because they get to wear all these bright colors. But then now it's winter time, we tone down a bit.
What about the lip colors? And before we get even to those that are good for winter, because you know we have your natural lip color sometimes is dark. Mine, I've got a dark lip color naturally, and then you go a light lip color. How do you wear those before we get into colors for winter on your lip? How do you wear those, especially that, you know, you're thinking, wow, okay, if it's a red and I've got a dark natural lip color, will it pop up as much? How do you look at that?
From my experiences and from the clients that we usually have, most of the people would love to go with just any color they want. Maybe someone will come in, I need a red lipstick. But then you have to advise them, no, you can't go with this color because looking at your complexion and also your lip color, there's colors that are supposed to blend in with your complexion. So that's how you find someone's looking, someone's very dark and then they go for a red lipstick and it really just looks off. So as a makeup artist, then you don't want someone to come and ask you who did your makeup and then you've got this red. So as also makeup artists, we have the job to also advise our clients because them they'll just say, I want this, but then you have to advise them on what is good. For example, even like on the eyeshadow, you don't go wear glitter or shimmering eyeshadow during daytime. So we've got makeup that suits you for the evening functions and for the day functions, and also even like if it's day function, depending on what type of function it is.
Okay, now this nude that has it's the latest. You know, these trends that come in the world of makeup is eyebrows going this way, thicker eyebrows, long eyebrows. Now there's the issue of the nude colors. Are they for everybody?
Yeah, that's where now the question comes in. Is it for everyone?
You're saying neutral for our eyeshadow, but neutral for the lip. How does that go?
And sometimes you look like you're hungry.
Yes, hungry, or your lips are just swollen.
Yeah, so this thing of just trends just because everybody else is doing
so
it. Sometimes some things don't suit you. So
how do I know my nudies goes with me?
You look at your complexion. You can try it out. That's when you go into a store, you check out.
So you can even do
like,
this.
Yeah,
you
like if you go with that color on your complexion, then yeah, then it looks really off.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming through, Charity. We appreciate you giving us a 101 on makeup, especially when it's cold, especially with not having the same atmosphere and weather that we have on a summer day when makeup can really pop out there, because sometimes you can really go wrong. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right. All right, just stay with me as we get into the next interlude. You know, we always have a male crush on Woman 360. I deliberately did not introduce him at the beginning because, I needed to give you a drum roll first of all. Drifter Take is an artist, but let's hear what he has to say about women. How does he feel, or what does he think of women? This has been our show for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, the lights go off here, but we can still continue the conversation online. We are on Facebook as Woman 360. Like it and give us your thoughts and comments or anything you'd like to see on the show. On behalf of the entire production crew for Woman 360, I'm Judin Gulube. Have a pleasant night.